Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that was actually created for one of the 3 winners of the competition that I hosted around about last November, December time, to coincide with Spotify releasing their audience figures. And the 3 people that won all listened to the show for more than 20,000 minutes over the last year. And I'll probably do something again later on this year when Spotify release their numbers. So if you listen on Spotify, if you listen to the show a lot, don't be surprised if you get a completely free session with me towards the end of the year, but you will need to be one of the most frequent listeners. And this was created for one of those 3 winners who wanted to focus on a term I hadn't heard before, but I will research it more, and that is called mother hunger. And mother hunger is a term used to describe children that grew up without their emotional needs being met by either one or both of their parents. And it's a form of trauma, but also a form of coping strategies that lead to try and fix that problem throughout their whole lives because that core need wasn't met. And there's many studies of what happens to children that don't have any human contact for, let's say, the first few months or even weeks of their life. It's not good for their well-being and their social skills and all these other things. Now, we're not talking about that level, but we are talking about certain basic needs that children have, like love, connection, protection, support, encouragement. And if those things aren't there, it can have effects that go way beyond their childhood. This deals with that, but it does it through a fairytale framework. And I love fairy tales as a hypnotic device because it tends to reactivate what some people would call inner child work, because the time in our life when we most listened to fairy tales was the time when we were children. So it has that natural anchor in place. But it's also a form of disassociation. And sometimes it's easier for things to change when you see something that resembles what you see in yourself changing, because it gives a blueprint, it gives a mechanism for that positive change to take place. So this is a fairy tale that involves gnomes and talking animals, and also lots of very direct, empowering suggestions that actually there are other ways to heal from not getting what you needed as a child, rather than holding on to the idea of lack and scarcity and what was missing, but more as an empowering way to perhaps to give yourself the very things that were missing as a child. It's a catalyst for self-respect, self-love, self-acceptance, and nurturing the very emotions that we all need nurturing at some point. If you feel that you're dealing with the aftermath or a ripple effect of issues in your childhood and you feel like hypnosis may be able to help, there will be a link in the show notes where you can schedule a completely free consultation call to explore working with me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a slow, resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, completely release any tension in your eyelids, around your eyebrows. And in your outward breath, feel that tension leave your body, enabling you, with each breath in and out, to feel like you're drifting off into a wonderful state of relaxation and serenity. As you breathe in, perhaps you could imagine a magical color, maybe sparkles from a magic wand, or all the colors of a rainbow infused into a magical light that as you breathe in, imagine breathing in that light, giving you a wonderful feeling of relaxation, that the magic in those colors can melt away tension, melt away stress, and just feel whatever needs to leave your body, leaves your body in your outward breath, enabling you with every single breath to feel like you're drifting deeper and deeper. As your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want you to think about an ancient forest somewhere in rural Scandinavia. Maybe you could picture snow-capped trees. Or maybe you could just imagine what it would be like to be wandering around an ancient forest and stumbling across an old log cabin. And inside the log cabin is a roaring fire to keep you warm. And I want you to imagine right there, by the side of that fireplace, is someone that represents a loving, caring, supportive, maternal figure. Maybe someone real, maybe someone fictional, but just imagine that maternal figure with an old dusty fairy tale book, and they invite you to take a seat by the fireplace, and maybe there's a cozy chair or sofa, a nice warm blanket, and they ask if you'd like to listen to a story. As you breathe in and breathe out, just imagine feeling that wonderful feeling of relaxed coziness. And in some places, deep in Scandinavia, they would have a name for this cozy, warm, lovely feeling. And just imagine that feeling growing inside you as you imagine listening to the words of a fairy tale story just about to be read. Once upon a time, in the heart of the whispering woods, under the shade of ancient, towering trees, lived a little gnome named Snorri. Unlike other gnomes who spent their days crafting magical trinkets or tending to the forest enchantments, Snorri carried a deep longing within his heart, a yearning for maternal warmth and care that he had never known. One day, Snorri the gnome decided that he couldn't bear the weight of the longing alone anymore. He set out into the deeper parts of the forest, a magical place where the animals spoke and the trees whispered secrets of old. He hoped to find something, anything, that could fill the void in his heart. His first encounter was with a bear whose roars and growls echoed through the forest. To others, the bear might have seemed fearsome, but Snorri saw past the anger to the pain beneath. "Why do you roar so?" asked Snorri gently. "I roar because I feel ignored, my feelings unseen," the bear confessed, its big eyes softening. "I hear you, and your feelings matter," Snorri said, his voice a soothing balm. He listened to the bear's woes and validated its feelings, and soon the bear's anger melted away, replaced by a peaceful, grateful hum. Snorri hugged the bear and went deeper into the forest, where before long Snorri met a porcupine, quivering with fear, its quills standing on end. "Why are you so afraid?" Snorri inquired, keeping a respectful distance. "I fear the world, not realizing my own strength," the porcupine whispered back. Snorri spoke words of encouragement, reminding the porcupine of its natural protection and the strength within. And before long, the porcupine's quills softened, and it ventured closer, trusting and supported. Snorri had unlocked the bravery within the porcupine that was always there. If only words of encouragement were spoken. Snorri said goodbye to the porcupine and went even deeper into the forest, where Snorri found a little bunny, its eyes brimming with unshed tears. "Why are you so sad?" he asked, kneeling to be at eye level with the bunny. "I'm sad because I crave love and connection," the bunny sniffled, its voice barely a whisper. With the gentlest touch, Snorri picked up the bunny, holding it close to his heart. He offered the warmth and nurturing the bunny yearned for, and before long, a smile broke through the bunny's sadness, a long-forgotten sparkle returning to its eyes. With each encounter, Snorri realized that the emotions he sought to heal in others were reflections of his own inner world. The bear's anger, the porcupine's fear, and the bunny's sadness mirrored his own feelings of neglect, vulnerability, and longing for love, support, and encouragement. By offering understanding, encouragement, and care to these forest creatures, Snorri found a sense of fulfillment and maternal warmth he had been seeking. The forest, with its whispering trees and magical inhabitants, became Snorri's family, a source of love and connection that filled the emptiness within. As Snorri returned to his Gnome village, he carried with him not only the peace and joy he had found, but also the lessons learned from the bear, the porcupine, and the bunny. He knew now that healing comes from understanding, support, and the nurturing bonds of friendship. And so Snorri's journey through the whispering woods became a cherished tale, a story of a little gnome who found the maternal care he longed for, not in the form of a person, but in the love and acceptance of the forest and its creatures. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine that you are also in the whispering woods. Maybe you can see the bear, the porcupine, the bunny, and maybe even Snorri there in the woods. As you open your mind to the idea that the whispering woods have a message for you, words that when listened to and understood could lead to new beliefs, new emotions, new ways of thinking, to resolve pain of the past and unlock and unleash the resources buried deep within you. Imagine being there in the whispering woods. Hear the trees talking to you. You are surrounded by an aura of comforting warmth, a loving embrace that fills the void left by unmet maternal needs, and each breath you take is infused with peace, dissolving sadness, easing fear, and softening anger, replacing them with calm and understanding. Because you have the strength within you to nurture and care for yourself, meeting your own needs with the same compassion you once sought. And perhaps you could imagine a nurturing light within your heart, growing brighter each day, offering you the unconditional love and acceptance you always deserved. Allow yourself to grieve what was missing, letting the tears wash away the pain, making room for new beginnings and joy as you embrace the truth that you are worthy of love and care just as you are, without conditions or expectations. With every step forward, you're cultivating a garden of self-love where kindness, patience, and understanding bloom abundantly. You possess the power to rewrite your story, one where fear is replaced with courage, anger is replaced with forgiveness, guided by your own nurturing spirit. And maybe Snorri could be a wise, compassionate figure walking beside you, offering guidance and support, filling your world with the maternal energy you crave. You are capable of healing, as you've already healed so much. You are deserving of love, which you notice in the people closest to you. You are surrounded by kindness and warmth because you feel it. Let the gentle voice of your inner wisdom guide you to serenity, self-love, self-care, and empowerment, reminding you that you are never alone in your feelings on your path to healing, self-acceptance, and those incremental evolutions that come from giving you the things you really needed as a child. At any point in time, you can be the parent to yourself that you always wanted and needed. And that is the source of your healing. As you return back to that cozy chair by that fireplace, you hear the words, "And Snorri lived happily ever after." You see the dusty fairy tale book being closed, and you see the kind eyes and warm smile, realizing those are your eyes and your smile, that you have the capacity to give yourself everything you ever needed. And in doing so, you break the chains of the past and finally move forward to who you are always meant to be. Give that maternal lady a hug as you leave the old wood cabin, walking through that ancient Scandinavian forest, maybe catching a glimpse of the small gnome hiding behind a tree, thinking perhaps that Snorri is still there by your side. And allow your imagination to take you back to the present moment, acknowledging that everything before are just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams. And as you return to the present, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connect fully with the present moment, as now it's time to awaken, feeling all the changes made by a bear, a porcupine, a bunny, and even Snorri have also changed within you, starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox. the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.